All right, so I'm in this little Hyundai Santa Fe, and the customer said when he turns the wheel when he's driving along, the AC will shut off. There's the AC, and I'm turning the wheel back and forth. We drive it now about 10 minutes. It hasn't shut off yet. This car is kind of funny. It's been real good. It's been acting real good around me. You know, he said it was leaking antifreeze. I could never really see it leaking anywhere. I changed the cap on it and never got to leak. And now he's saying that the AC shuts off when I turn the wheel. I'm getting ready to go make a turn here. And I don't know. It's kind of funny. It's not acting up. So we're going to stop into Chick-fil-A here and get some breakfast. We'll go through all these turns in the drive-thru, get some Chick-fil-A, and we'll see. I don't know. I'll turn the camera back on if it actually does it. It's kind of funny. I love it when cars do this. People tell you, oh, it's doing this, and then you drive it and it's not doing it. It's a mechanic's curse. So I'll get back on it if it doesn't. Alright, so it's actually doing it right now. The AC is off. What it is, it's not really anything to do with the AC. It's the blower. Yeah, I don't know if you can hear it. It's kind of kicking on and off by itself. So we'll have to look at the resistor, or maybe the blower motor is getting hot. But it actually has nothing to do with the AC. It's just the actual blower motor itself is kicking off. So that gives us a little bit of direction. Because he said it's when you turn the wheels, it would cut off. And I think that's just a coincidence on that. I don't think it had nothing to do with the steering. I thought, well, maybe that'd be kind of weird. Maybe the wires are rubbing or something. But what it really is the blower motor is just shutting down, getting hot, or maybe the resistor in there is getting hot. So we'll investigate that a little bit farther and see if we can see anything. It's been a long time. I don't know if hopefully the blower motor is not too hard to get to on these. I don't remember. It's been a long time since I've had one of these apart over there. So, yeah, it took a while. I actually thought, man, this thing ain't gonna act up. Been driving it. I drove it quite a bit and it never shut down. And then I pulled in and all of a sudden it did it. And the AC light was still on, but the blower motor was off. And then it did it again. The AC light went off. So I thought, well, I don't think it's nothing to do with the AC. Let's just turn the heat on and see what happens. So I got the AC off and the blower full blast, and it's shutting off and on here and there. So we'll investigate it, see if we see anything on that. So that'll be the next step on this. All right, so I got the dash apart on this thing. The reason why I took this apart is because the actual relay for the fan is back behind this panel here. So yesterday when it was messing up, the problem with it doesn't do it all the time, so it's very hard to catch it. You know, if you're driving and it does it, you can't really test anything, and then when it's sitting, sometimes it doesn't want to do it. So I did catch it in the act a little bit yesterday, and when you have this wire here, which comes from your relay, the blower motor was shutting off, and it was actually losing power from the relay here. That was at full speed. So you can see here, when you turn the switch to full speed, it bypasses your resistor. So I think we can pretty much rule the resistor out in this. And we're looking at it's losing power. The only other thing possibly, so you got the hot all the time up here. Then you got the key on. Yeah, and then the key on here coming down for the relay. And then you have the AC control module. So, and that goes to the relay. So what I think is going on is this relay is going out. It's losing power. Originally I thought maybe the motor was just getting hot, but when it was messing up yesterday, I had a probe in on this wire here. You know, this is a blower motor, and it was flat. You know, the test light would flash out. So the blower motor was just losing power. So it's either this relay, it's something to do with this relay, or possibly an AC control module, or one of these two hot all the time, or hot switch. So what we need to do is get it to mess up and make sure that we have power coming into the relay and not coming out, and then we figure out where it's losing its power at, and then we can definitely call a relay, or maybe it's something else. But my feeling right now is it's probably this relay is going out, because it'll just kick in, kick out, kick in, kick out, and then it'll run for a little bit and then kick in and kick out. So you know, and you can hear the relay clicking. So I don't know. What I need to do right now is just drive a little bit more and see if I can get it to do it. It seems like if you drive it, you know, 20 minutes or so, then it starts to act up. It hardly ever does it right away, which is another reason why I think maybe that relay is getting hot. And then when I was working on it yesterday, when I did come back, the relay was pretty hot to the touch. So those all lead me to believe it's a relay. So what I'm going to do now is just drive a little, and then try to get it to where it'll start doing it. And then we'll try to do some quick checks on this relay back behind there. Hanging down, I don't know if you can see it. But yeah, we'll come back and do some quick checks on that and just verify that it is a relay and not something else. So that's what we'll do next. The other thing I would say, I know these Hyundais are notorious for this switch being bad. There's copper strips that are in here that make a contact. There's a slide on this. It slides back and forth, and sometimes these switch will cause it. But you can see on this one, I'm jiggling it pretty good. We're not losing blower power to it. A lot of times, if those switches are bad, you can jiggle them up or down, and it will cause you to have power. You guys should take those switches apart and clean the copper. But this one, you know, I'm moving it pretty good up and down, and we're not losing power. So I really think we've got this narrowed down to just a few possibilities. We know the blower motor's good. We're pretty confident this switch is good. We know that we are bypassing the resistor when we go up to high, and it was malfunctioning on high. So you're eliminating that whole entire circuit there. So it's really down to possible powers, the two powers, maybe losing connection, which I kind of doubt. I mean, anything's possible. Or that AC module, which I haven't really researched that too much, or the relay. So you got to figure, you know, how many times that relay has been, you know, clicked on and off over the years. So that's my number one suspect at this point. And we know that if it's getting power coming into it and not sending it out, then that's what it is. So, like I said, that's just something that I was wanting to point out, was this switch. I know a lot of Hyundais have that problem where you can jiggle the switch and it'll work. But this one, like I said, it's good. So we're still on the original trail of the relay, is what I pretty much suspect. But we'll drive it around here and get it to mess up, and then we'll start doing some tests on it. It'd be nice if these kind of problems would just mess up all the time, or it would do it in the garage, but it never happens that way. So I did bring my tools and the test light and the multimeter and the wiring diagram. So if it starts really messing up, I'll be able to pull over hopefully somewhere and check it out real quick, and we'll see what happens. So this thing's totally kicking my butt. Been running errands in it all morning, driving it around probably close to an hour. and I have my test light just rigged in there in case it would lose power, and it's been working perfectly this entire time. So I don't know, I'm hoping it messes up soon. This is a typical intermittent problem. It acts up when it wants to, and then when you're actually looking at it and testing it, it doesn't want to act up. But, I don't know, hopefully, like I said, I've been driving it quite a bit. It's only really messed up on me one time, and that was yesterday where I drove it for a while. So hopefully the Hyundai gods smile on me and this thing starts messing up soon. Alright, so this is where I'm at on this car. Been driving it all morning and been on the highway, off the highway, running around the city a little bit, doing errands. The whole time that this thing's been working. It's been blowing good. Can't get it to screw up. So where I'm at on this, there's a few possibilities on this. Number one, it's quite a bit cooler right now than it is. Sometimes these electrical problems are heat related. The other possibility is when I probe the wires here, it's, I always try to be careful when I'm probing things. When you mess with electrical wires, sometimes you can inadvertently fix something without realizing it. And that's possible because I did probe the blower motor connectors and the relay up here. And when it did mess up, like I said, it was losing power from the relay to the blower motor. And it was on high. So I'm assuming that the resistor is not a player in that. If you look at the wiring diagram, if you put it on high, it bypasses the resistor completely and goes right to your blower motor. So, the relay has, like I said before, the only possibility at this point would be the relay's losing power at one of the 2 points. The control module here is not sending the signal to turn it on, possibly, or the relay's going out. Now, out of all those, my feeling from experience and just, feeling the heat coming off of that relay, it's possible. I really believe it's a relay, so I went ahead and got a relay for it. I really hate just throwing parts at things without definitive proof. But what am I supposed to do in this situation? Just keep the car forever and drive it around? I feel like this is the best avenue. The relay is not too terribly expensive on this, and I can't get it to mess up. So if I can't get it to mess up, it's very hard to be definitive on what it is. So what I'm going to do at this point is put a relay in and put it back together and give it back to her, and hopefully it fixes it. If it doesn't, then she can bring it back to me, and hopefully I can get it to mess up, because this is one of those situations. It's these intermittent problems sometimes can just be a real challenge, because it did screw up on me yesterday when I got back to the garage here, and I was able to test the blower motor there real quickly. But then after that, it hasn't screwed up since then. So, like I said, I'm pretty confident it's not the switch over on the, not the switch over here. It's not the resistor. So that really just leaves the relay. We know it's not the blower motor because it wasn't getting, when it was cutting out, it wasn't getting power to it. So it really, like I said, I keep repeating myself, but it only leaves a few possibilities, and I'm going to, even though I don't like to do it, I'm going to change what I think is the biggest possibility and put it back together and hope for the best. If it messes up down the road, then we know it's not the relay, and we will go for either these 2 powers or that module down there. But That's just how it is sometimes when you work on these cars. This has been a real stubborn car, period, with this. It really only does it when it wants to do it. And even yesterday when I was driving it, I drove it quite a bit and it didn't act up. It really acted up randomly almost towards the end of when I was getting ready just to park it. So it's a stubborn little Hyundai. So anyway, and if you don't know, if you're going to do this yourself, the relay is back here. I already took it off, so I can't really show you, but it's mounted back here. Pretty much everything with your blower motor on these Hyundais are all back here. Your resistor is right here. And then your relay is right here. And your blower motor's down up in there. So everything's pretty close to each other. And if it does screw up down the road, it's, you know, it'll be easy to get back to it. So I guess that's the end of this. Unless something comes up from now until I get the car back, I may try to drive it one more time later today. Like I said, I got other cars stacking up, and I can't just keep driving this thing around aimlessly for hours. So I'm gonna put the relay in it, and I guess kind of end this out. I wish I could have shown everybody definitively, but sometimes that's the breaks when you're working on these things, and especially electrical problems. You know, it's very possible me probing those wires could have made a better connection, and then now it's fixed. But we're gonna put the relay in anyway because it's cheap insurance, and see what happens. So that will pretty much end this for the Hyundai Santa Fe blower issue. And if something else comes up with it, I will make another video on it.